That's what I wanted to hear. I wanted to hear, good Lord, I get 20-year-olds in here not in as good a shape as you.
Yes.
And I thought, yes, this is what I want. And I thought maybe a little something for the shaving. Maybe I had dropped 50 pounds since the last time I was in there. And I saw the nurse had noted the last time I weighed to this time, and I looked over her shoulder. I was down 50 pounds.
Right.
Didn't say a word about it.
No.
And at the end of it, when I thought it was, okay, we're ready to go, he said, your blood pressure's getting borderline high. What a deflating feeling, It's like, what?
Yeah.
My blood pressure's high.
And a little flabby on the sides.
And he said, you might could control that with diet and exercise.
Let's take that blood pressure again.
She said, no. So he told me to go to Walgreens or CVS and buy a blood pressure machine, which I did. And the first few times we used it, it was through the way higher than it was in the doctor's office.
Well, this can't be accurate.
So
Worried your wife.
Worried her to a great deal.
Right.
And so it had been about a week, or more than a week. I had a cold, and he said, well, that could be it. See, I think maybe he was just like, trying to let me down easy. He's like, well, it could be the cold medication. Although I do hear that does.
Well, you got to explore everything. Just the visit to the doctor can make it go up some.
Yeah, very true.
He said that. So yesterday I took it again. My wife said, do you have time? I was getting ready to race out the door for the pickleball courts. And she said, do you have time for a blood pressure check? And I said, all right, let's do it. And I think it was too rushed. I think I shouldn't have done that. I should have waited until I was in a calmer state.
Yeah, you're kind of, at that point, you're trying to build up a little bit of adrenaline.
Yeah,
you want to get things going.
Well, and you're ready to go.
Yeah.
See, that's the best thing for you, which I don't know if we'll ever be able to do it. You got to be calm and stress-free. They need to...
Saturday morning.
Saturday morning is perfect for you.
Take it. Right.
That's when you need to take it. You don't have anything.
That's right.
It's quiet. You can just sit for a minute before you take your blood pressure, not get worked up.
Well, the Littlest Patriot has gone through this same thing. And he told me that his doctor said you have to sit for several minutes and do it exactly the right way and take it as soon as you wake up on an empty stomach and all those things. And he said his blood pressure, he has one too. He has a home machine also. His blood pressure on a Saturday morning is much, much better than it is on a Monday at noon. He says.
I believe it.
Yeah. So, but yesterday I took it, and it was almost identical to what it was in the doctor's office. And it flashed yellow at me. Now, it had been flashing red at me. So I guess yellow was a little bit of a, that's a little better, obviously, but still borderline.
Yeah.
Borderline.
Well, maybe you should you should take it while you're watching a Titanic in there. Before the ship hits the iceberg.
Yes.
And you've been watching, because by then it's already been on an hour and a half.
Yes, early.
Take it early before the accident, and then take it because you've been relaxing at least 90 minutes.
Yes.
Take that thing, and I'll bet it'll be the lowest ever. Like you're in ice water.
What scene? Yes. What scene? I think when they're walking around the boat, like seeing his artwork, seeing Jack Dawson's
could be
artwork.
that.
Yeah.
Could be that. Or when the three guys are sitting down there and they're looking up at her in first class on the deck.
Yeah.
It's very relaxing.
Oh, yeah.
Taking in the sea air.
Yes, a relaxing time on
a Saturday morning watching Titanic.
Watching Titanic.
Yes.
That's when it needs to be
At
taken.
least 2 hours before or after pickleball.
Yes, because now my wife says, she said what you said. It's stress-induced. You're stressed out. And I said, yeah, maybe so. And then, the doctor is going to want to start putting me on some medication. And when I took it yesterday, my wife said, are you defeated? And I said, yes, I'm defeated. I want to get it right. I pride myself on not being on medication.
Yeah.
Right.
I like that,
What was it? They even prescribed you something to make you happier.
And I turned it down.
This year.
I just found that. I just found that. They prescribed me Zoloft.
Yeah.
Because, for my painful rectal itch. Which is a little bit of a disconnect, but this was a year ago because it was my old outgoing doctor, and I had painful rectal itch.
He'd given up.
He said, "That's right.
Take a pill for it." Where do I put it, Doc?
He had smeared every salve that he knew on me, and so
you sent him out of the business.
I did. He retired early.
You had to. You finally got me.
Exactly. The patient that beat me.
Yep.
And so. I had read an article that said somebody on Zoloft said a side effect was their painful rectal itch went away. Right. And he said, well, you know what? And he did some research. He said, well, I'll prescribe it for you. And he did. And I went to the drugstore and got the Zoloft and got it right to my lips and said, no, I won't do it. And it's still in my attache.
I believe it.
I have it now. If I should sell it.
I choose pain and anger.
Yes.
See what it did to you? You never took it.
Probably sent my blood pressure.
Oh, yeah, no, without a doubt. I mean, this is years and years of just
That's probably right.
put down anger, and finally, it's all coming.
Yeah.
And there's nothing physically you can do which is going to drive you nuts.
It does. It drives me crazy. I bought blueberries. I told you that yesterday.
You did?
Well, I read what foods get rid of high blood pressure, and blueberries.
Yeah.
Blueberries and salmon.
Yeah.
But a lot of the stuff I eat already.
Yeah. Salmon's a little fatty, though.
It is. But they said it had good.
Blueberries are great.
They are. I did, and I have come around to liking it. You know, I told you once that I held this against you for a long time, Dave.
Yeah.
I said once that I didn't like blueberries because I found them mealy and not, without much flavor, and you disagreed with me. So of course I kept my anger for you over
Thank
that.
you.
But I've since found them at different places. I used to get them like at Costco, and they were not good.
You may want to buy the organic ones. It may
They're
be worth
good.
getting the more expensive
And they
ones.
are juicy and bold.
Get a little baggie of those and put some walnuts, not salted, and put them in a bag and mix them together in your mouth.
Yes.
It's not food.
I'm worried. I think he may be right. I think
It's not food. I mean, look how much weight he's been able to lose this year.
Yeah.
We can't
I
have
know.
him skinnier.
I know.
They're trying to bury you as anywhere we go now.
I know. It's because I hold on to anger. I think that's it. D, you have some advice on blood pressure. Go ahead.
What's up, guys? It's D, your number one black people and listener except for James.
D, it's always so great to hear from you. I'm glad you called on this. Go ahead.
Chris Kelly, this is what you got to do. This is why your blood pressure is high every time you take it.
Mm-hmm.
You have to get over that your doctor didn't notice you lost the weight that you lost. Forget it. You did it. You did it for yourself, not for him.
That's right.
So every time you take it now, that's all you're thinking about is, my doctor didn't notice it. You did great, man.
Maybe you're right. It sticks with me. I got to let go of anger, toxic anger. Look at this. Just got this text from Chris Demm's wife. Just saw it a few hours ago. What was my first reaction to Chris Demm won't be there today? Was it, oh my gosh, I hope he's okay? Let's just say that.
I mean, we can lie.
Thank you, D. Thank you very much for the call.
We can lie to him.
Okay, but as Biggie said, probably my blood pressure ticked.
Oh, right there.
5 points. 5 points right there.
But I think Biggie would agree that when you are, even when you're not here at work and doing this show and putting it together, it's always
in my mind.
In your mind, in the corner, and I think that's something. There's something to that.
Oh, I agree. I
mean, you're.
So you all know that about me. You know that I'm constantly going over.
You're constantly thinking.
You're 1 degree away from this show every moment.
Always.
And sometimes I think you seek out the anger.
Yes.
You do.
Yeah.
Now this is behind the scenes. I'm gonna go behind the scenes. Dave doesn't even know this.
Yes.
But this morning, he texted me. He said, "Did you call BB Shea in?"
Right.
And I said, "No. Last time we did it, no BB Shea." And I said, "You want me to call BB Shea?" "Yes."
Yes, I do.
I was like, he's going opposite of me here.
Well, I think last time we didn't have him because he was out of town.
Maybe that's okay. But I thought to myself, I wonder what he would have done if I had called BB Shea ahead. Would he have gone opposite and said, "Well, Dave and I can do it"?
We don't need him.
Who in the hell do you think you are?
I don't want you making decisions about this.
We don't need him.
Sometimes you just can't win, Biggs.
What's he here for?
But see, that's what I mean. Sometimes I think I'm like,
you know what I'll do? When BB Shea walks in about 10 minutes, I'll just look at him and go, "What are you doing here?"
What do you want? Get me a bagel.
Who told you to come in?
Give me a bagel and my blood pressure medicine.
Give me some blueberries and walnuts.
What are you doing here? Biggie said,
I don't know why.
I think Biggie's in charge of this.
I don't know why he'd say a thing like that. Snake Eyes, you have some advice as well. Go ahead.
I do, Kelly. P1 here from Stanley County. I love the show, man. Listen to it every day.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, man, I'm a special kind of listener. I listen from 6 to 7 going to work and 7 to 8 coming home. But anyway.
Love it. Yes.
Look, Kelly, me and you are a lot alike. I'm tall. I got an 18-year-old daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and bite the bullet and get on the medication. My wife said that's the best thing because I changed my diet.
Yep.
I quit eating potato chips. I was eating cucumbers with my sandwiches. I did everything, and my blood pressure was still high. And I got on the medication. My blood pressure's under control.
Yep.
And my wife said that I'm a whole lot nicer. I'm not irritable. I'm not angry. Yep. Bite the bullet, Kelly. Get on the meds.
You're probably right.
You might find yourself a better pickleball player.
maybe so calmer.
Because it'll take because your blood pressure won't be constantly.
You're right.
Going so hard.
I take such pride. Thank you very much, Snake.
The ball may slow down as it comes to you.
Maybe
as it comes at you.
Maybe you're right. But will I lose my edge? What if I lose my edge?
I like you always go back to that.
We're still trying to see your edge. Find your edge. Get an edge first, and then we'll discuss losing it.
You're a middle-aged white guy with kids who makes a good income. What edge?
Yeah, please. You could be softer.
What edge are you gonna?
I can't lose my hardness. What if I lose my hardness? You know
what hardness?
You get that fixed.
My edge. You know my edge. I have to.
You grew up in a small North Carolina town.
Sleepy.
You had 2 parents.
2.
Yeah, they treated me really well too. But
no one in this room has edge.
No, I think my mother may have had high blood pressure, and I'm going to have to ask my sister about that.
Well, that's true.
It's possible. My wife said that it could be hereditary. Did your
there's that.
Yeah, it's possible.
Very possible.
Your dad didn't have it?
No.
Or did he just never go to the doctor?
Well, very rarely he did. You're right. He very rarely went to the doctor. One time my father almost never went, but when he did go, when he was about 55. His doctor said, your cholesterol's through the roof. And he's changed his diet and lost 25 pounds and always ate very well after that. He totally changed everything.
I will say this, cholesterol's different than blood pressure.
Totally.
So you
totally
can,
right.
That's
on him.
Do that with cholesterol.
Yes.
Blood pressure, though, if you're stressed,
what are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Exactly. I got to de-stress. Dave will know this. There's an old episode of The Jeffersons. Do you recall it?
Let me think back. Was it a good one?
Well, it's a 3-parter in Hawaii.
Ooh.
George went to the doctor, and they said, George, your blood pressure's through the roof. You're stressed out, And he said, you sound like my wife. She wants me to take a vacation to Hawaii. And the doctor said, do it. So they went to Hawaii for like 3 weeks. It was a 3-part episode. And he kept checking his blood pressure, and it went down and down and down. But then by the end, he had a heart attack because he got into a business deal in Hawaii. And the doctor said, it's not about where you are. It's about how you live your life. You've got to take things easier,
So not your surroundings.
Yeah, get rid of the stress. It doesn't matter about where, if you're Hawaii or not. If you're going to be doing a business deal and stressing out about it, causes your blood pressure to go up.
Yeah.
I rewatched that episode yesterday just to make sure that I was on the right track.
Okay.
1979, Jeffersons.
Good. See, that made you a little calmer, maybe?
Perhaps.
It's a good thing in your mind that you're there and you don't want to be on medication. But what percentage of Americans are on some kind of medication for something? I bet 60, 80%?
Yes, I was 80%.
Yeah.
80% for something.
Absolutely. That's why I've always taken such pride in not being on medication. I like that. I like not being on. But because like when I went and got my colonoscopy a year or 2 years ago, she said, what medications are you on? I said, none. She looked at me. She said, really?
Yeah.
I said, yeah, none.
That's a rarity.
Exactly. She was surprised. She's like, we don't see many people with none. So I take pride in it, but now I might have to get on it.
Yeah. I mean, you're well into your 50s. And
I'm not well into my 50s. I'm very barely into my very barely.
All right.
Yeah.
Don't get stressed out.
Okay.
And the good news is you're over the hardest part of the day for your stress. Chris Demm not being here. It's not like we have a big insurance meeting or anything.
Wait till you see those numbers.
Listen,
it's not like the guy in charge of it said, get ready. Just bend on over.
That's right.
We have an insurance meeting today about health insurance. It's a big one. Once a year you have it, late in the year. Yes, the guy told me, he came into our office and he goes, you guys ready for the insurance meeting? Yeah, ready to go. He goes, get your lube out.
Now listen, if it's a single person alone, not a bad price.
God knows I hope you don't have a family.
Before I give this number for families, does anyone in here have high blood pressure?
Remember, you love your children. They're not dependents like they call them. They're children. Remember what they are when you see those numbers.
If you're married with children, just bend over and get your lube out. That's what he said.
Grab your ankles.
Literally what he said.